Tomorrow, we should have a better idea of what Governor Kathy Hochul wants to do with your tax dollars. She is set to present her $200 billion budget at noon from Albany. And we got a sense of her priorities and some of the price tags for them during the State of the State address earlier this month. But now we'll get to see those line-by-line details. This will trigger 2 months of negotiations in Albany before a final plan is set for April 1st. A big headline for everyone watching is that your income taxes are not expected to go up. But what else? Joining us live right now is Greg David, a reporter with The City, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan digital news source covering the state. We certainly appreciate your time, sir. And I wonder, for the past several years, the state had all this COVID money coming from the federal government, right? A lot of that is drying up. How do you think that's going to impact tomorrow's budget proposal, how they're able to sort of throw money around? And as you talk to your sources, what do you think the big headline might be out of this budget proposal?
Well, I think there are two headlines to start with. The first one is the state has actually collected more than $7 billion more than we expected in the current fiscal year. So the first headline is, what does Hochul decide to do with that money? Does she want to spend it? Is it put against some one-time expenses? Does she want to put it in reserves? And the second related question is, what is her outlook for the next fiscal year? One major reason for caution, Wall Street is retrenching. Wall Street accounts for almost 20% of all the taxes New York State collects. So that would be one reason to be cautious. Other people, especially the progressives in the legislature, are saying, look at all the money we're collecting. It's not time to retrench. It's not time to put money away into reserves. So what does Hochul want to do? The budget for the current year was $220 billion. That's the second most any state spends in the nation, topped by only California. So we'll see what her spending priorities are. Does she want a 2% increase in spending, a 4% increase in spending? I think those are the main two numbers to look for in tomorrow's budget.
Greg, we know that inflation is still a big concern here and obviously across the country and much of the world. What are the expectations in terms of how the governor is going to roll out any proposals and how to spend money to try to make it more affordable for people here?
Well, there are a couple things she's going to do, one of which she's already indicated she wants to raise the minimum wage. The minimum wage in most of the state is $15, not quite upstate yet. She wants to raise it and index it to inflation. New York was once the leader in the minimum wage. We're no longer the leader. Other states have surpassed us. She's got a major housing agenda. She wants to build 800,000 new housing units in the state in the next decade. 500,000 of those would be in New York City. She's outlined some pretty ambitious and controversial proposals. She might give us many more details on that tomorrow. So I think you'll see that. And then, of course, she said she doesn't want to raise the income tax, but the issue in the legislature is going to be a little different. Some of the tax increases the legislature passed in the last couple of years on wealthiest New Yorkers expire in a couple of years. Expect the progressives to try to make them permanent in this session. Hochul says she's opposed to more income tax increases. We don't know what that means about making the current very high tax brackets we have permanent.
Greg, I've literally only got maybe 15 or 20 seconds left, so I'm going to ask the last one very quickly. Do you think there's any chance we learn more about all the talk with the climate action plan and gas appliances and the switch over to all electric? Do you think the governor puts that at all in the budget proposal tomorrow?
Well, I think she might. The budget's where we do everything in
Right.
Albany. We don't just pass money. We make all the policy changes. So if she wants to get specific things done, I think we might see them in the budget. You bet.
Greg David is a reporter with The City and will be following the budget proposal tomorrow with all of us. Greg, thanks so much. It's good to see you.
Thank you.